Highgarden was once the seat of the mighty House Gardner. Throughout the reign of the Gardner kings of old, Highgarden was built to be a fortress, the most beautiful throughout the Seven Kingdoms, save for the Vale, who prefer their own castle, the Eyrie. The founder of House Gardner, Garf the Gardener, settled on a hill overlooking the Mander. From here, the castle of Highgarden grew, dominating the flat terrain that makes up the Reach. The castle is protected by 3 curtain walls, each taller and thicker than the last. Between the first and second walls, a briar maze serves as a place of leisure in times of peace, or a thick, impenetrable wall of thorns in times of war. The Godswood boasts 3 weirwoods named the 3 Singers, and in the lavish sept of summer stand statues of the 7. The line of Gardner kings came to an end after King Mern IX rode into battle against Aegon the Conqueror. The entire line of House Gardner burned on the field of fire, and House Tyrell rose to become the Lords of Highgarden and Wardens of the South. And since the conquest, they have been growing even stronger.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to WesteroScraft Walks. This is the episode you all have been waiting for, the unofficial part 3 of Highgarden, although I'd probably just label this as its own separate episode. And this is a special episode because joining me today we have Marjorie Tyrell and Glitch, who are 2 of the builders on the server. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Well, without any further ado, let's get to it. So, Marge, would you like to lead the way?
Is there supposed to be voice?
Ideally, yes. I have no clue what's happening here. So, this, we just talked about this a bit earlier. So this is actually the main entrance of Highgarden. So this is where a lot of the nobles, whenever any nobles come to visit, or even the king, since Jaehaerys, I know, has visited Highgarden, they would come in through this entrance. This is like the grand entrance, like you'll see once we get into the middle gate.
Hello.
Oh yes, hi.
Sorry, I think my microphone went off for a bit.
Yeah, you were muted on Discord. I whispered it to you. I don't know if you saw that.
I'm an F1, but beautifully put, Garf. Actually, this is that was actually exactly what I was gonna say. This is the main gate with 3 walls encircling Highgarden, and we're currently going to pass through, but not go through, the hedge maze, because goodness knows that there's a lot of stuff that we don't have to cover inside of there.
I mean, eventually I will go through the maze and just get lost in it, but that's a video for another day. But these are 2 of the entrances here. And is there a reason why there's a Tarly banner on this gate?
Yes, there is. Each of the gates that goes through Highgarden is dedicated to a different great house of the Reach. This one being the Tarly Gate. The gate behind it, if I recall correctly, is the Rowan Gate. There's also a Redwine Gate and a Hightower Gate. The Hightower Gate is a little bit more, how can I put this, subtle, but they are each of the entrances dedicated to a different great house. So that's why it has a Tarly banner.
Interesting.
Now, are the gates manned by members of that great house, or are they all Highgarden kind of soldiers from House Tyrell?
local levies, so Highgarden soldiers, I would
Okay.
imagine.
So they're just by name, then.
Yes. There's a lot of iconography in Highgarden to like the different great houses of the Reach. I believe the in-server lore being that like I guess it's the way for the Tyrells to curry favor with the other great houses, since their power came from a centralized Targaryen hold on the continent rather than like inherent blood ties to the Reach. They do claim descendants from House Gardner, but their claim is dodgy in comparison to the other great houses. Right here is in fact a statue of the founder of House Tyrell in Westeros, Sir Alistair Tyrell.
It's a really big statue. I will say that. They're totally not compensating for something.
Of course not. We wanted to go for a very subtle, very like downplayed like dedication to our founder.
Ah, yes. So from here, let's go take a look at the the kitchens and the most of the stores over here, and then we'll just work our way around this ring, and then we'll make our way to the main keep. So over here, like this is mostly for the food and kitchens, I'm guessing.
Yes, it's all food production, preparation, storage. This large building right here is the Great Granary, which is where the Tyrells store grain for winter and as part of taxes. So there's 3 massive grain silos along with flour and whole grains. So these 3 large ones are a result of the local demands of Highgarden.
Interesting. There's another door through here. Let's like I said, we're just going to go through this. If anyone wants to explore Highgarden, just make sure to type /warp Highgarden so you can see this massive castle for yourself.
The ride is, I believe this is storage of roots. So there's a lot of just like dry goods in here. We don't have to go through that. It's just shelves and crops.
Mm-hmm. We have some nice gardens here too.
Local produce. There is many examples of edible plants being grown everywhere. So these are mostly roots, cabbages, herbs and spices right here in these little baskets.
Ooh, nice.
To the right is cheese making. They make their own cheese in here.
I love cheese. Oh, and we even have is this powdered snow?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, for a second, it really looks like milk in this cauldron here. Like
Highgarden is one of those special big builds where we constantly update it, and by we, it's mostly me.
I can tell, like we've seen a lot of the stuff you've added, like, and I even have screenshots of what it looked like before. There are a lot of places in Highgarden where it like what it looks like now is not what it looked like when the first 2 episodes came out.
Oh, so people who watched the first 2 episodes should have a lot of reason to take another second look if they want to make that, because quite a bit has been updated in the days since those first 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. So
gotta keep with the trends.
Oh yes, of course. So why don't we keep moving forward? So this is cheese making. Where should we go from here? Should we go
the Great Kitchen, which is right here, this round building?
Let's go in this one. So I think we'd all like to see what the kitchens look like. So this is where they prepare all the food for the garrison, for the Tyrells, or is this just mostly like they'll prepare food here and then there's another kitchen somewhere where they would actually cook it and serve it to whoever, like steaming hot?
This is by far the largest kitchen in all of the castle. It is not the only one. There are, I would say, dozens of other smaller kitchens throughout the entire castle, but this would be the family's largest kitchen. There's 3 stations dedicated to different kinds of cooking. So for example, you have like red meat preparation here.
Mm-hmm.
You have like more breads and like things that would be like pastry made, not necessarily the bakery, but this would be like, think of like rolls and meat pies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have stews and fishes and white meats here. So think of it as like hot cuisine in the French tradition.
Really? Hold on. Like, yeah, like, it's like, I never really think about, like, I mean, sure, like, obviously, like, we have to think about food when we're building kitchens, but, like, I never really think about, what would the family be eating, and, like, what, or how it would be served and all that. So that's interesting how you mention, what was it? What cuisine?
Haute cuisine,
Haute
so
cuisine.
Haute. I don't speak French, but
Yes, it's obvious. No offense.
no, it's fine. If it was Spanish, it'd be fine. But they prepare the meals on each one of these different stations. Prep work to put together the dishes are made here on this first table, and then when they're ready to be put away in the kitchen table, they put here and then taken away by servants to their destination.
I see. And just quickly going to the bread oven here, because I think there's a bakery, like a bakery dedicated for bread and cakes somewhere here.
Yes, there is. There's both a pastry house for sweets, and there's also a bakery for general bread.
Mm-hmm. Should we go take a look at that?
We can take a look at the bakery. It's not far. Just follow me. To the right is the laundry house, where the clothing is washed. More delicate garments and things like that. To our left is one of the giant smokehouses for serving meats. Wood goes below, and the meats are smoked up top. Underneath this grape trellis, and to the left, is the bakehouse. And this was made by Cash Banks, who was in a previous episode, in fact.
Well, he did show me around Summer Hall, but we were experiencing technical difficulties at the time, so you two are actually the first guests I have on WesterosCraft Walks. Sorry if I didn't mention that before.
I'm contributing so much.
Yes, you are. I mean, you already contribute a lot to the realm and the server too. So, but there's 4 great big ovens here. Ingredients for like more complicated pastries are stored in here. So things like oranges, apples, lavender, sugar, salt, very important. Wait, lavender? Why would they? What's with the lavender?
Lavender is a culinary ingredient. It's very old school, I would think, but it's a very subtle like floral flavor. I'm not a fan of it. I think it tastes like dusty and medicine-y, but people do use lavender in sweets and like bread.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that. Like, when you said lavender, it was just like one of those things where it's like, oh, is this just like a, like, what is going on here? Are they making medicinal bread or something?
You can add.
No, you can use. Oh, sorry, you go.
No. You're on a good. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can use lavender in tea. It's you mix it with a few other things like lemon, and it makes a pretty good tea.
I actually might try that.
Yeah.
Like, I do.
It doesn't have some of the medicine taste that you were mentioning, Marjorie.
I've tried lavender cookies and lavender bread, and I was like, maybe I had a bad baker.
You might have.
And I paid so much for it. Someone's been eating this cake. I'll have their head for it.
Yes. Let's go on before Marge really starts screaming.
Flipping tables.
Yes. Let's close the doors here. So I think, I think this is like a good start. Just seeing where all the food stuff is handled. What are these just like? Because I noticed when we passed Granary, there was like a pig pen. So is this where the people who tend to the pigs live?
So there's also housing within Highgarden. A castle requires like a full, an army of staff to maintain a noble. It's something around, you need like 100 peasants in order to maintain one noble. Obviously we scale down for the sake of the server, but the kitchen district, as me, Ark, and Enah jokingly call this area, does house its staff. So kitchen workers, sauciers, pastry makers. The quote-unquote head chef lives in the house up ahead with the glass windows.
Oh, interesting.
I believe there's also another possible place, and they would live in the self-contained bubble essentially. The pig pen pigs are extremely important. They're essentially garbage disposals. Any scraps, any leftovers, you just throw in the pig pen, and
any dead peasants.
That's outside.
Yes.
But you could just throw anything in here, and they would eat it, and you get meat in exchange.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere raising pigs is the easiest among sheep, cows, and chickens and pigs. Maybe I.
Well, out of all of the kind of animals that you have access to, all of the farm animals that you can, I guess, raise in this time period, pigs are the lowest maintenance. They do cost a lot to feed because they eat so much, but what they eat is comparatively cheaper compared to something like cows. They're lower maintenance than sheep and chickens, that kind of thing. But chickens are very small, they don't cost as much to feed. So if you've got time, chickens are much easier.
That explains why a lot of the builds on the servers have chicken coops.
Yep.
In their yards.
Your biggest focus as a peasant will be basically feeding yourself. Up ahead, this building right here is the Dovecote.
Why
Love me a good dovecote.
Why the Dovecote, or why is it tall?
Why does a dovecote exist? I guess
I thought you were about to make a really bad joke.
I mean, I make jokes
Why
on
does
the
a
server.
dovecote?
I make jokes on the server all the time, but I don't think I'm. Some of my jokes are that bad, but.
So the dovecotes would basically, you could use them for all sorts of things. In our context, I believe Enah said that doves could be used in the Reach for very short distances, as opposed to ravens. But also doves are also very handy as food. I mean, you're growing basically little tiny meat birds for the peasant tables.
Doves are food and pest control.
Noble.
That's why nobles keep them around.
And I believe nobles had a particular thing where it's only winged birds were for the table of nobles. I don't think the peasants got access to winged birds as food very often.
I can't speak on that.
I mean, that makes sense. We've heard a lot of George's descriptions and writing where he's always describing the nobles having some extravagant bird on the table that they're going to eat.
Going around here, up ahead, if you can get that big gate right there, that leads into the inner ring, which is where the Tyrells and associated nobles would live, and that would be I want to say the Oakheart Gate.
I thought you said this was the Rowan Gate.
It's green and yellow. I believe it might be the Oakheart Gate. Let me spy on it. Yep, it's the Oakheart.
Nope, Rowan. Okay. There's Rowan banners inside.
Oh, that's because I changed those banners.
Oh, okay.
It's also used as housing up atop.
Oh, so that's what those bedchambers were. I thought those were for the captain of this gate here.
So the associated staff with the master of arms, the captain of the guards for the castle, they would be living inside of the steward's gate.
That makes sense.
To our left is the Sceptry of Highgarden. So the people who maintain the Sept of Summer would be living here.
And that would be because there are a lot of beds here, so that's the Septa who would tend to the Tyrell, who would oversee the Tyrell women's religious instruction and
the men.
Oh, and the men, yes. Because I've noticed, I've been here before, and I know that there's, two different areas, so, Glitch, please don't fall down the well. But...
There's a ladder.
Well...
Don't mind me.
Well, okay then. So which, wing would be for the, men, and which wing would be for the woman?
Oh, that's a good question. I do know that the men, they do have a shrine dedicated to the warrior, the smith. So the men would be this side because the shrine towards the warrior, smith, and the father are right here.
Ah, okay.
And then the septas, the female order, would be on the other side because they would have a shrine to the maiden mother and crone. Whereas those dedicated to the strangers, the silent sisters, are actually underground. So yeah, here's the shrine towards the maiden mother and crone.
Mm-hmm. And
the silent sisters are below us.
I think we can just go take a look at that. It's not too far, if I remember. There's like a.
So they have a back entrance. If you follow me, I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
And it also gives us a good chance to show the area of Highgarden that's all workshops for maintaining the castle.
Mm-hmm. So like this area is like masons, carpenters, and
a tailor.
A tailor sign up ahead. Oh, but
so
first the
stranger's door. So the silent sisters get a separate entrance for their order. It's very dark down here. So if you go down here,
I have a torch.
This is the living spaces for the silent sisters.
Wouldn't it be cold down here because like you're underground and doesn't look like there's a. Oh, I think I found the shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right here.
It would be very cold.
Well, hopefully they have enough straw and blankets.
Through here, this passageway connects directly with the Highgarden crypts.
I think we'll save that for the sept, since the main entrance to the crypts are like off to the side there.
And plus, it will loop around so people can see, like, that it connects.
Yeah, of course.
Go through here, up here, and we're back in sunlight. Oh wait, oops.
I think we went one door too far.
To the refectory.
Ah, yes. What did you say? The refectory?
Refectories. So religious orders, for example, would have an area to meet, to do worship, sing. We're basing the Faith of the Seven off Catholicism. The septons and septas, or whatever have you, would have regular meetings to discuss like religious doctrine, the concept of faith, sing, pray.
Something we kind of do as well.
Pretty much. But this would be their main meeting area, and whoever is in charge, the elder brother is what the term is for monks in A Song of Ice and Fire, would sit in this seat.
Mm-hmm. And what's this podium over here for?
If I could speculate, it would be whoever is bringing up some kind of like question of religious law.
Ah, okay, makes sense. So why don't we just make our way out here and take a look at the workshop area, since that's where we were earlier.
So through here you have, on your right, you have the Stonemasons, who create stone to repair the castle, along with create the statues of Highgarden. There's a lot of statues in Highgarden. There's even one being created right now.
Do we know?
Do they build those large statues on site? Like, do they carve them out on site?
I would think so. It'd be too heavy to like create them here and then drag them out.
Mm-hmm.
But for these smaller statues, or for example, like decorative works like this, or like individual like bricks that could be fitted, they would likely like create them here and move them out.
That makes sense. Do we know whose statue is that? Like, I don't think we've run into any yet, but there are a lot of statues of the Gardner kings and many Tyrells scattered all over the place.
This is Mace Tyrell creating his own statue for the crypts in anticipation for his death in the future.
Ah, interesting.
And he made sure to commission a statue of himself at the height of his youth.
Of course.
If that's what we want to call it.
On your right, you have the woodworkers.
Yeah, the carpenters.
Furniture, carpenters, joiners, cabinetry workers, all would be housed here. You can see a piece of furniture being varnished here to preserve it. Upstairs is, for example, furniture making.
We have a few chairs. like a, what is this? Like a cabinet?
A cabinet.
Yeah, a cabinet. Yeah, it's sometimes like sometimes they'll just have like a bunch of different names, and then like, I mean, like for this one, like I would say it's a wardrobe, but maybe it's like an armoire. Is that how you say it? I don't.
It's French sounding, so it would be an armoire.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, like there are a bunch of
Back to the French, aren't we?
Ah, yes. We love the French here, don't we?
We have many French builders, and we allow them to speak.
Sometimes.
So,
Up ahead is the Tailor. So this would be where they work. The Tailor would go up to the castle and fit the clothing to the ladies and lords of the castle. But this would be their workshop, for example, for putting commissioned pieces.
I'm guessing you find yourself in here many a day at
Absolutely
Highgarden?
not. They go to me. I would never sully myself by going down here. Disgusting.
And who lives here? Since
If I remember correctly, these are the apprentices.
the apprentices.
So there's a lot of like lower class bedding and housing here. They have their own little vegetable garden out back.
Ooh, that's very nice. Like, I don't know, like the larger gardens are nice, but like sometimes I just really like looking at these small, cute-looking gardens.
Yeah, they're a change of pace.
Highgarden would need an actual army of gardeners to maintain all this.
Oh, I can imagine, and let's not even talk about the main garden, which, well, we're getting there.
And as you
I
can
mean,
see
even
everywhere,
just the maze.
Oh
Especially
yeah,
the
the maze
maze.
too. Aren't there like 5 like circular gardens within the maze as
there's
well?
5 circular sub-gardens and 5 rectangular gardens as well. And hidden among the maze, this is also statues to either myths of legends of the Reach and statues of the main founders of the great houses of Highgarden.
What am I looking at?
I mean, of
oh,
the
that's a
Reach.
horse.
It is a horse.
That really got me for a minute.
Well, I
Diagonal
mean,
statues
art
are hard.
Yeah, art
Yes.
is, well, how you interpret it. So
You get you get horse most from this angle.
yeah,
It's abstract. It's modern art.
modern Westerosi art. So what's
To
this
our-
building here?
This would be the blacksmith.
Okay.
Any commissioned work, for example, and by blacksmith I mean like swords, common household goods, any kind of like chains. This would be the in-house. Obviously, like the towns and like the main town outside of the castle gates would have the more intricate like commissioned work, but this is like in-house work.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Their own
So this
forge.
isn't the best blacksmith in Highgarden or like in the area.
Well, I mean, having a blacksmith on site, like especially like an experienced master blacksmith, would likely be pretty expensive when you could just like
Yes.
have one outside the castle gates that you can commission to. So this is like, I guess this would be like, can we have McDonald's? And this is McDonald's at home.
That's actually a pretty good analogy.
To our left, this large grand building is the guard barracks.
Is there a doorway that we can go through, or is that on
Yes.
the...
It's on the other side. To the right are the, I guess we could call it a parking garage for the carriages of the Tyrells. Elena's carriage is right here, for example.
Oh,
And
so-
then there's one that is a little broken.
It's being repaired, you know. Over here is I believe this is where they make the carts.
I think so, yeah. Like, there's wheels over here.
And this is more like a newer building since it's made entirely out of wood. If we go through this door, we enter the guard barracks.
Is this rack over here... Because I know we use, like, say here, like, the chain and the axle. I know that's supposed to be a lance, but are these spears, or is this just, like, a protective... Like they lock
Spears.
up some. Oh, spears. Okay.
Spears are a little hard to do with the iron, with like the fences and the bars, because they take up so much space. It's better to use it for a lance.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you don't need to know
Oh.
about that. No. You know too much. Well, you'll be speaking to the Highgarden secret police after this.
Okay.
You can cut that out.
No, I'm leaving
Nah.
it in. I'm leaving it in. Because this
I'm
is
going
how
exploring.
People,
I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, this is how
Bye-bye.
people know that we're fun to be around, and yeah, like they don't want
Yeah,
to.
threatening to report each other to the secret police.
Of Highgarden, so you know it's good. You know we're the good guys. Everyone loves the Tyrells.
So this is just mostly the armory and some of the barracks for the soldiers, and there's a
There's an upstairs. I believe that the upstairs is accessed from the archery range. So we have two ways that we can go about. So if we go to this area, so for starters, over here is the Postern Gate. So when you first introduced the video, for example, we talked about the main gate. This would be the Postern Gate over here.
Mhm.
And if I remember correctly, this green and yellow. Can't remember.
The second green and yellow.
Another green and yellow. So this might actually
It's a very
be
common house color in the Reach, unfortunately.
in most of Westeros.
Yes, that's fair. It's just got Tyrell banners inside.
I don't remember which gate this is dedicated to. I'll have to check the document again, but I'm not gonna risk it. But up above, you can see the red wine gate, and there is a red wine banner up on top of it.
Oh, I see. Yes. I mean, you can't really tell since I have shaders on, but yeah, like you can see the there's the teal, the green, and the burgundy grapes at the center. I think.
So we have two directions we can go to. We can go through these doors, which lead to like more noble-oriented pursuits of leisure. We could go up to the red wine gate and go straight directly to the circle. So if we want to go through the rest of the second circle, this is where we would need to go.
Okay, so let's keep going through here.
So this is the Great Stables. Willis Tyrell breeds his horses here. You have a water source for watering the horses. You have feeding troughs. It's very, very, very well made. Like, as in like way too fancy for normal stables.
Yeah, these are the Tyrells, and before the Tyrells, the Gardners, so they don't really settle for subpar stables. It has to be grand.
Upstairs,
These are nobility.
upstairs. These are noble, fancy horses. They eat better than the poor.
They eat better than the peasants.
Up here are the Hounds and the Falcons. So if you notice here, this is one of the statues of Highgarden. All Tyrell statues are done in white marble. All Gardner statues are done in Reach stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's an example of it nearby, but we'll see it in a bit. So the Hounds,
Right
they
here.
sleep here.
Mm-hmm. So these beds are most like, think of like puppies like cuddled up in like a giant bed of straw.
Aw, that's okay. Now I can't get that image out of my head. It's so cute.
Over here is the falconry. So hunting falcons, hawks, and peregrines would be kept in here.
And this is where Willis would spend a lot of his time.
So yes, this level and the level below would be basically Willis's recreation area. Since he is disabled, it's not actually unclear to what degree he's disabled, but I believe we kind of kept it ambiguous in that he may use a cane, he may use a wheelchair, he may use both.
I believe it's only one leg that's damaged, and he's walking, or mentioned as walking at some point in the books, I think.
With a cane. I think I read.
Yeah, not explicitly with a cane, but like it's mentioned that he can move pretty normally, like at least a little.
So the canon is maintained. We kept it ambiguous enough. We'll say that the wheelchairs
Yeah.
are emergencies.
That's fair. Or if he just doesn't
when
feel like
he's got to go
walking.
fast. Just tie the
zooming
wheelchair
around.
to a horse.
He's zooming around the castle in a horse-drawn wheelchair.
I mean, that
That's
actually sounds
an
like a
image.
pretty good Oh, I mean, Bran would probably like that.
So to your left is one of the Gardner King statues, one of the Sage Kings of Highgarden.
Yes, the Garth Gardner the Ninth, the first Sage.
He's one of the three Sage Kings. I believe he was the one who married his son to an Andal princess as a conciliatory measure.
I think that might have been the
Sounds about
second
right.
Sage.
Actually, yeah, no, that was the second guy who married. Well, it was the first guy who married his son. The second guy was the guy who was the son who married the.
Oh yeah,
Andal.
yeah, that's right.
Behind you is a hayloft and for making saddles.
I'm just gonna take a quick look here. They store the straw and the hay on the floor above, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's just... Oh,
Yes, there's a lot of it up here.
Please don't burn it.
Yeah, with that torch.
oh, sorry. I didn't realize I still had it on. Yeah, I'll just turn that off. Let's go through here. I mean, it goes through to the same area. So
over this would be where you would find Loris and Garland Recreational Pursuits. It's a practice yard and a tourney yard. Right here you actually see one of Highgarden's gardeners replacing diseased plants with fresh flowers.
Ooh. Yeah, they don't look so good.
And you can see some of Highgarden's absolutely ostentatious amount of flowers here.
I wonder how many times these flowers get shot with arrows.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, this doesn't look like the best place, but I mean, if you're aiming to kind of just make this like a training area, then I mean, you have to make space somewhere.
Over here is the lesser wing, used for housing young people. So, for example, wards of the Tyrells or younger Tyrells lower down on the Rosebush, quote unquote. It's fairly nice. It's it's all right. It's be an okay place to live in. I mean, I wouldn't be caught dead here, but it's good for storage of young people who don't mind roughing it.
This is a really nice cabinet over here. So
But,
No vaulted ceiling. We are really in the poorhouse.
Exactly. And then look at these baths. They have to share this one bathtub.
Oof. It's rough. It's really rough. So, I know in the show, we only have, a total 5 Tyrells that we see, but in the books, we have a lot more Tyrells. So, do we know, in canon, who lives in this area?
Wouldn't it be Eleanor, Mega, and the third one that I can't remember the name of?
I don't remember her name either. But it would be quite a few Tyrells. I mean, ladies in waiting, Marjorie would have a flock of them. We do get a glimpse of how many she gets in the books. It would be her Tyrell cousins, the trio.
Oh yeah, and her aunt, Janna Fossaway, the Lannister. Sorry, not Lannister. Tyrell.
Yes.
Oops.
Upstairs, you have the bedrooms. You can kind of ascertain who lives here based on the colors for it. So, for example, this is a lesser Tyrell.
Mm-hmm.
Next door is a red wine. And I believe
It's probably an Oakheart or a Rowan. Not
Or a
Oakheart.
it could be. And then the last one is pretty.
Rowan's red
Rowan's
and white. This one's probably
white and-
Rowan.
Yeah,
This
this
one,
is
red,
definitely
remember?
Rowan.
Caswell.
Yes.
Or,
Caswell.
yeah,
Caswell.
that's Caswell.
There's too many houses in the Reach. I'm sorry. I don't know any of them.
We actually counted them. So Dorne is by far the lowest one. Dorne has 12 houses.
Yeah. And most of them were petty kings. They don't talk about the minor houses at all in Dorne.
We had to make up a lot of them for Dornish builds. I made up a bunch of quote unquote uncanon houses where it's just yeah, they probably have something here. But the Reach
There's
has
a ruin on the Boneway as well.
Yeah. This is a laundry area, so these are one of the man-made waterfalls in Highgarden.
I take it we're going to see more of these as we
Not-
go through the gardens.
Not that many. It's like 2 more. It's very hard to fit in a man-made waterfall on a low hill.
That's fair.
There's a lot of things in Highgarden that like me and an Ark shook our fists at, where it's like, God damn it, George.
And the waterfalls were definitely one of them.
Yeah, because like it's like, how can you make a low a waterfall? Let me open this gate. Turn around. I gotta open this door.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
of
don't
course.
mind me. Don't mind me.
Yeah, we're opening it with our special keys.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm opening the gate. All right, it's open. We opened it with our special keys. Don't...
Yes. I mean, of course, you would have the master key being a Tyrell.
Yeah, just yell at them until they open it. So this
You
is
yell at the door, not the guards.
Precisely. So here's another one of the man-made waterfalls. This is the Great Rose Garden. This would be the central garden of Highgarden. So we have a very beautiful waterfall cascading down to this pool of clear water, which in turn drains out and feeds this fountain lower down.
Oh, they're connected. I wouldn't have guessed that. Just looking at it, I thought this was just like they were separate.
A lot of medieval waterworks like did reuse water. So like for example, if in Spain, if you've ever been to the Alhambra, the line fountain, right? The water that flows through the line fountain eventually flows down the outflow and goes into the bathhouse where it's reused for steam. Then here's another Tyrell, Lord Martin Tyrell, who was master of coin for Jaehaerys I.
Although wasn't he also the one who it was his Fossaway wife who is suspected to be the real master of coin.
Absolutely. And the greatest Tyrell, of course, gets the greatest statue and area. Lord Leo Tyrell the Longthorn. He's the only Tyrell in canon who has one of those fancy pants titles.
And who does...
He's the one who kind of earned the hereditary Tyrell line, or as stewards, wasn't it?
No. He was the Tyrell who fought in the first Blackfire Rebellion and won a lot of victories in the Reach. Like,
I see.
Yeah, so like the one competent Lord Tyrell. That's
how
I remember.
Dare you? You wouldn't last 5 seconds in a Highgarden tea party, which is what we're at right now. So this would be Marjorie and her ladies' like main area. This little tea party here with all sorts of like fancy cakes on the side.
Nice loaf of
And
bread too.
Of course, brioche.
Ah,
Bless
very
you.
fancy.
A lot of the Highgarden Rose Garden was inspired by like the gardens of Versailles, which is why we included these like potted orange trees, like for the orangery of Versailles. And you can have a really good view of like the main palace where the Tyrells live up above.
Oh my god, a good use for the sandstone mosaic.
Wait, who's that over there?
We don't mention that guy.
Yeah, he's an unspeakable. He's committed crimes. So the mosaics are actually another server canon thing. We did give the Tyrells and Highgarden a bit of a vicious streak against Dorne, so there are aspects of Dornish architecture that were stolen and brought over to Highgarden.
Ah, that's
And you'll see that, and you'll see that in Mace's office as well, or parlor. So these are Dornish mosaics that were stolen and brought over to Highgarden during one of the conquests of Dorne, or attempted and failed conquest of Dorne. Only because
one
they
of the
cheated.
many.
Are there a lot more of these? Like, oh,
There's 2 more. And in fact, the Tyrell Lord, back in the tourney yard, was Leo Tyrell, the one who helped the young dragon invade Dorne, and eventually died by scorpion.
Yeah, we don't talk about him.
So through here, before we get to here, there is actually a little hidden alcove over here. this is the Trader's Walk. From the the High Tower Gate is a straight walk through the hedge maze, so we don't have to go through the entire thing. But incoming prisoners for the dungeons of Highgarden would go through the hedge maze through this gate and walk along here. And the canon that we made for this walk is that it would be a torturous experience, that as a prisoner of Highgarden to basically walk through the most beautiful garden with the most beautiful things that you could imagine, and only to be locked up in the dungeons of Highgarden. That's kind of like a breaking technique, and the dungeons are straight ahead.
Let's take a quick look at that.
Dungeons.
I mean, we have.
So there's
yes.
there's noble cells, and there's also the common cell.
It's very small for holding a lot of
Presumably
prisoners,
a lot of people.
Oh no, there's not a lot of crime in Highgarden. I make sure of that.
I bet those pigs are very well fed.
Not as well fed as I would like.
So since we're down here, would you like to explain this?
Oh, yes. You see, as a noble lady, I gotta make sure to keep up with the latest fashions. I can't simply do without the same gown every day, let alone the same 15 minutes. So we needed a place to put all my gowns and dresses and all that. So down here it's the dress vaults. It's the vaults full of dresses.
Ah.
So it's not a lot, there's hundreds of miles more, but this is just like a small selection of the things that I would wear the most.
It's a little taste.
Yeah.
I forget, is this canon?
It could be.
Well,
it very well could be. It's very George, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I'd say it's canon because, again, the Tyrells and the Gardeners, they're the lords paramount or the kings of the Reach. They have to look better than everyone else, and therefore they would need a place to store all of their clothing. They'd probably store a lot of their... Where would you say the winter clothing items would be stored?
I would say that it probably depends on so this is a lot of cloth, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say that things like furs and I actually didn't think of that, and that might actually be my excuse to expand these.
I was gonna say we could always just take Highgarden and move it we got world height, right? It's 600 blocks. We could have literal miles of dress vaults.
Yes.
we need an excuse to make Highgarden even taller.
Yeah, there's actually a version of Highgarden that I've seen, if you just look up, type in Highgarden, whatever search engine you use, and it's one of the, it's one of the first ones that you come across. I think even, that's what, the wiki, it's one of the first pictures on the wiki, but it's Highgarden, but it's tall, really tall. That's one of my favorite versions of it. So
they just took Highgarden and smashed it with the rock.
Pretty much. And then the HBO show saw that picture and they made Casterly Rock that.
We don't talk about that.
So this is the wine storage.
Mention Highgarden Rock.
Wine storage.
So this would be
here.
Absolutely. These are the finest vintages. Don't listen to the Dornish.
Lots of Arbor Golden here.
Back here is the largest vat of wine. Nothing suspicious about that. Let me just check the door isn't open. Okay, yeah, it's not open. Good.
Glitch, you just tainted the wine.
Yeah,
don't... Oh, no. Don't look inside.
There's nothing in there. You don't have to go down the secret passage.
What secret passage?
No secret passage at all.
Let's go see rest of the garden.
You've seen too much, Kristen. You've seen too much. I'm sorry. Come back here.
You've seen too much. You need to...
No, I think I'm good. Let's go through this gate here.
Where'd you guys go?
We're outside.
In my own house, and I get left behind.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Glitch was trying to execute me.
So if we keep following, up ahead is the kitchen gardens. So here's Lord Bertrand Tyrell, the drunken sot that sired Martin Tyrell. Listen, the Tyrells, we reproduce in very unique ways.
I figured you kind of just grew on bushes. There's too many of you.
We might.
I mean, Marge, you literally have roses growing out of your hair.
That's my crown. Don't make fun of it. Now I'm sad.
It's a beautiful
So through
crown.
here is the herb garden and vegetable garden. So we have, for example, if I remember correctly, fennel, lavender, chamomile, or this might actually be fennel. That might be fenugreek. Strawberries, kale, asparagus, and I'm gonna say the sage, sour leaf, and thyme.
Sour leaf is essentially chewing tobacco.
Yeah, well, Grandma needs her habits.
Yeah. We can't let Enah get real uncomfortable. Otherwise, she'll kill us.
She'll be crankier than usual. Through here is the main kitchen gardens for the Tyrells. It was recreated off the Queen's Garden in Versailles. So there is a little cottage right here in evocation of that.
And
Oh,
the gardener
goodness.
lives here. Not the gardener, but the gardener who tends to the plants.
So
Yeah, this
would
is
be-
your house.
Yeah, you live here.
Oh.
So
I'm just speechless right now.
up ahead is the pastry house. So this is where like the sweets are made. So one is a smaller kitchen in the front, and behind it is the sweets. So this would be a kitchen exclusively for like the closest nobles of the castle.
So the Tyrells, basically.
Pretty much. There's a lot of kitchens in Highgarden.
That's fair. So yeah, they would be preparing all the food the Tyrells would eat in this kitchen, and you said there was another kitchen above?
Yeah, yes. So if you follow back to this path to the herb garden, go past the compost heap, past these flower arrangements right here, the pastry houses right here. So this would be exclusively for sweets.
Ooh, lots of cakes.
Do they make puff pastries?
Yes. Well, puff pastry is actually a pretty simple thing to make. It's like butter
It
layered
is,
with
it's-
dough.
Well, not that kind of puff pastry. The French kind.
Every kind of puff pastry.
Cool.
That's not chocolate. It's just some unspecified brown cake.
That sounds...
Want a slice?
I think I'm good. We still have a lot
So-
of walking to do. Can't.
So on your left, it'll go directly into the Garden of Courtly Love. On your right is the Godswood of Highgarden.
Because the three singers would be further up this path. You can see the Weirwood leaves here.
So these are the three singers planted by Garf Gardner the First.
Yes,
himself.
by me. Thank you.
Why are you alive? You look pretty good for being 10 trillion years old.
We don't talk about that.
Of
Look,
course.
he's sleepy.
So this this Godswood is basically modeled off what we would speculate what an old growth forest in the Reach would look like, albeit like extremely reduced and small. The Reach would probably be one of the most developed and like plowed over parts of Westeros on the continent.
Yeah,
and
because
is it-
it's also close to Dorne where the first men first settled, so...
And
It's
there,
been settled the longest. Sorry, I cut you off.
no. You're actually saying exactly what I want to say.
Yeah, it's been settled the longest. It's the most arable land in the entire continent, so it's really gonna be the place that's the most developed. So this is the closest you can get to truly natural reach.
That's a nice tree swing over there.
Except for that.
We may your holy site is being marred by a swing set. The story behind this is like there's a French painting. It's pretty well known. The name escapes of me, but if it's like it was during like the Versailles era where like it's a woman on a swing and she's like high in the air and one of her shoes are flying off. That's what we made this kind of like got inspired by to make this swing.
I think that same painting is one of the paintings in Frozen, like during in like the I forgot which number.
Isn't it? Whoa, what's the French word? My French accent's awful, but isn't it the Scaporet?
It might be
by Fragonard.
Probably, but we saw that painting. We're like, we need a swing, and so a swing was made.
Well, it looks pretty. So
if we follow this path, we'll reach the end of the God's Wood.
And it circles back to the kitchens, right?
Yes, there's a locked gate there, but I'll use my special key to open it. And here's the third man-made waterfall right here, which feeds into the pool of water, which drains out and goes into the dry moat.
Wait, it drains out into
Just
the
realized.
Of course. I mean, otherwise this water would become like it would either overfill or it would stagnate.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And that makes yucky, nasty water.
Yeah, I never really noticed that. Like, I think it's because most of the time I there's what's Highgate is behind this wall here. Like, I never really noticed that there was like a drain or something that where that pool drained into the dry moat.
Well, we don't have like the actual infrastructure, but it's just like there's the drainage. It's there.
Okay.
It exists.
This is another one of the Gardner kings, the gods fearing. He was actually a first men worshipper, so appropriately his statue goes here.
Nice.
And then
I just realized I've had a bed on my head the entire time.
It's the latest fashion.
Yes, a whole bed.
Well, I
so
mean,
through here, it is the kitchen district. If we want to go through it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn around.
Yeah, just turn around. Let me use my key. All right, it's open. You guys can go through.
So, which gate do you want? Two want to go through? Like, there's this side gate here, but should we go through the Oakheart Gate?
Let's just go to the big gate.
High Tower Gate.
The High Tower Gate, we'd have to circle back to the Rose Garden and go through the hedge maze.
Oh, it's that
let's not.
gate.
Let's not do that. That's far.
Let's not.
Well, I think at the end of Highgarden Part 2, Kobe and Lucia actually ended their tour at the High Tower Gate. I'll put a link to that on the top right. Go check it out. But since we are close to the Oakheart Gate, we might as well just go through.
So we'll go through here. Past one of the many family crests that are adorning Highgarden. Upstairs. And we'll finally leave the pores.
And into the main keep.
So this is the center, the very center of Highgarden. This is the oldest parts of Highgarden. To your left is the Sept of Summer. Up ahead of us is a statue of Garf Greenhand, the semi-mythical founder of House Gardner.
And half the houses in the Reach.
Basically.
He got around.
He was very loving. He loved women.
I see you went with the version of him with the horns.
Well, it's a very common thing with First Men iconography. The bronze mail and the horns and the bronze weapons.
It looks nice.
To the right is the ballroom, which is the newest building in Highgarden.
I thought like a lot of these buildings would be new, especially after the reign of Garth X, where the Dornish sacked Highgarden.
There's a lot of
very hard to pull down stone buildings, especially ones these big.
Yeah.
True.
but you could tell roughly the age of some of the buildings. So like the Stewart's Tower, which is that square tower in front of us, it would be the oldest structure, still standing structure in Highgarden.
It's probably kept that way on purpose, right? Because it's like honoring their history, the Tyrells.
And it was, per the canon that we set up when we were building it, it is a former, like, think with the Gardeners stuck around in there, then they built up, and they're kind of like, well, shoot, we built a nicer building. Who can we hand off this ugly tower to? Where are the Tyrells? All right, this is yours now. Have fun with that. So we can go to the Sept of Summer if you'd like.
Yeah, let's go here, and then we'll snake around to the other parts of the keep. So the Sept of Summer. Wait, where's Glitch? Oh, there you are.
This would be like the main like area of worship for the Tyrells and the Gardeners before them. It's modeled after the cathedral on the island next to the Notre Dame, the Sainte Chapelle or something like that.
Yes, yeah, maybe.
Possibly.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced. 7 icons in order: Smith, Warrior, Father, Maiden, Mother, Throne, Stranger, and with associated flowers corresponding to their colors. So orange for the Smith, red for the Warrior, white because there's no green flowers for the Father, pink for the Maiden, blue for the Mother.
Stick some grass.
We'll breed some green roses.
Is there also
yellow for the Crone and purple for the Stranger?
Is there also
no black
like the Sept sound block in here? Because like if you listen closely, you can hear the.
There shouldn't be.
There is.
Oh, I thought the sound blocks were pretty much all removed.
They're
No,
discouraged. They're discouraged.
Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. I see it.
Especially the marketplace block, which sounds terrifying.
A little
Demonic?
interesting.
It sounds like someone's trying to do spells on you.
I mean,
It's the first men.
Through here is another statue. To the left are the family crypts of the Tyrells. Underneath the Sept of Summer.
The first level here. There's miles of these underground, but.
So this is Prince Gawain Gardner, the Ash Prince, the last Gardner who could inherit.
Oh, so this is the nephew of Mern the Ninth.
He wasn't alive long enough to be crowned, so he's still a prince.
Interesting. Yeah, because I
didn't he last like just a few days or less?
3 days,
Pretty much.
I think. And then over here, just more.
It's an ossuary.
An ossuary.
Along with like a few grave sites.
Yeah, I really need to remember like ossuary because like that's a lot of places in the realm have these. So I really need to remember the name ossuary.
Downstairs is more crypts. A lot of them. We don't necessarily have to go down there.
Yeah,
This is my home.
Well, actually, no. There is that tunnel that we did say we were gonna like. It connects to the. So it's like right here, and then we also have the
area where they prepare bodies for burial. So we have, for example,
this is where the Silent Sisters are. Yeah.
Yeah,
this
like
is
where they do their work.
Yeah, and
so
then
you can
like,
boil bones here.
And then this hallway just leads back to where they live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you can see
long
it, like
tunnel.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot more of these, but I that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's enough. Like, there's a lot of secrets in Highgarden, a lot of tunnels, and like things that you guys shouldn't investigate, and definitely not log on, join the server, and like explore, or DM me about.
Subtle.
I mean, you
And
should
also
still join the server. Just
You absolutely should. But also close your doors when you open them, please.
Don't they close themselves? Or is that just a guest thing?
Yeah, for guests. For builders or anyone in creative mode, Yeah, they're permanently set. So, is this the main bathhouse for the nobles?
So this would be like, yeah, I mean, this is one of them. There's more inside, but this is a pretty grand bathhouse. There's another Gardner statue in here for Gardner II, the bridegroom, who was the one who married a Hightower bride to add Old Town and its environs to the Reach.
It's interesting why his statue is in here.
You got to get clean before you get married.
True.
Through here is, I believe, this is was a common, just like a common area, but it's also now used as like aromatics for the baths. Through this door is the main cistern, which stores water used for all the fountains and waterfalls of Highgarden.
Alright, goes down.
I'll just take a quick look at that, like, so we just have it on.
It's basically a giant pool of water.
Yeah, so all of the drains in Highgarden, they empty out into here. Like, you can see, like, the spouts and... Okay. Yeah, you can see all the spouts, and, like, it all just drains here, and then they use it for, well, whatever they need to use water for.
It feeds the fountains and the waterfalls as well. And this is a good opportunity you can either turn around and go to the center of Highgarden, or we can go through this tunnel, which is where the gardeners work, the actual, the handymen, and then pop in at the Garden of Courtly Love. But I think people want to see...
Yeah,
what do you want
I
to see?
like the normal way.
Yeah, we want
go
to
to
see
normal
the
way.
main structure.
Yeah, let's go see the normal way. I'm trying to drag people to, like, let's go in the deep and nasty tunnels. Do you want to take a quick look at the the ballroom? This is the newest structure as well.
When was this one built?
So in canon, this would be, well, not only newer as in like it was a recent addition, but newer as in like in the server history. This would be made in the last maybe 100 years.
And is this also where the Autumn Festival is held?
I mean, if it's a particularly like more intimate, noble-only kind of celebration, it would be held here. Larger, more like everyone's invited kind of celebrations would be in the Great Hall.
Oh, I meant the one where you told Star that if he didn't finish his house at Brightwater Keep, that ball.
Yes.
It's a real banger.
This is the Tyrell disc.
Is this a Mirish like contraption? What is this?
We don't
It's
talk
witchcraft.
about it.
It's
Nope,
witchcraft.
give me that.
Burn him.
Yes, I am a witch. I have no soul.
The Lord of
You
the
see
Seven
these
Hells.
eyes?
I thought that was just your mascara.
No, they're white.
Oh, so this is the very
Why you
dead.
sound so disappointed?
I don't know. I thought I could like bargain with you for power.
I mean, probably.
So this is the
main
dead
courtyard?
center of the. Right here, this block is the dead center of Highgarden. What we're standing on is a giant rose mosaic. You'd be able to see it from Mace Tyrell's balcony up there. In order, this is Lord Harlan Tyrell's statue. This would be the first Lord of Highgarden of a Tyrell descendant. Behind him is the guest tower, where noble guests would be staying along with their staff. In front of us is the door to the Great Hall, along with Mace Tyrell's apartments above it. Then right here is the Tyrell residences, along with the Maester Tower to the right. And the Steward's Tower, like I pointed out previously, is the square structure in gray.
You know, I do have one question about this courtyard. So, back in the Gardener days of yore, where would the oaken seat have gone, or would have been planted?
So the oaken seat would have actually been planted here.
Interesting.
And rumor has it that despite the Dornish felling it and cutting it down, its roots still exist underground.
that's something for you all to figure out. So, so many places to look at here. Where should we go first? Like, I think, why don't we do...
I say we could start with the Steward's Tower.
Oh, the Steward's Tower?
Stewards? Take a quick look. So this would be like very important staff. So it's nicer than the average like abode. Like this would basically count as like the average Crownlands castle. But some of the more important people like the Seneschal, like Garf the Gross and his bastard sons would live here. The Man-at-Arms, who is a Verwell, if I remember correctly. And some guards, people of importance who have skills, for example. Not handymen, but like officials, bureaucrats, and things like that.
And I think one more level up behind this door is the Lord Seneschal's office.
Yes.
And it looks like there's a bridge here that takes us to the guest tower. So
we could walk across here. The guest towers are actually pretty nicely decorated. They were recently renovated by some mysterious benefactor who will remain unnamed.
Of course, using only the finest materials in the Reach.
Sure, the Reach with the eerie marble.
Yeah, we don't talk about the eerie marble.
Well, I mean,
I mean, it's not even from the Vale; it's from Tarth.
Oh, that's good. Thank you, Loris, for making such good trade relations with Tarf's overseer.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Well, we do in Highgarden. It's fine here, but like everywhere else.
Everywhere else, that's a little touchy.
Well, I mean, like, don't.
Ooh, water.
Did you just jump?
He did.
That's fine.
Like...
I got legs.
I mean, he's also Herobrine, so
He'll be fine.
yeah.
I remember being kids and did you build Herobrine shrines as a kid?
No.
When I played on the Pocket Edition that still had the Nether like summoning block thing, I would. There's
so each
stairs in this place.
That's why I said don't jump. Well, I didn't say it, but you know, I felt it.
Oh, I found
It's
it.
implied.
So each floor of the guest tower is in a different color. So this would be the blue level. I believe upstairs would be yellow. Yes, yellow. So this would be the yellow themed. And if you could tell, it is very dark and unfurnished because at the moment it is not occupied by any guests.
Since they're all marching towards King's Landing.
Marching right now in the server canon, Renly is still gathering levies. His main camp, there's the red level. His main camp would be at the area between Hornhill and
Isn't it between
Old Flowers.
Hornhill and Old Flowers? Yeah, Old Flowers.
So yeah, you got it right. That's where the main Renly camp is going to be. And I'm actually, I'll talk about it later. You see it on the forums. But there's another, basically, there should be 3 main camps that are like gathering levies. One in the south by Hornhill and Old Flowers. There's one here in Highgarden, actually, the Great Tourney. And presumably a third one of Stormland's levies traveling down the Rose Road, heading towards Highgarden.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Stormlands levies were already at Storm's End, confronting Stannis's. No.
Happens
That
a
was
little later.
backwards. Yeah, that was later. Never mind.
Yeah.
We're still pretty early on. Renly's still alive for now.
Yeah, they just burn the statues on Dragonstone.
Yes.
Yep.
Like that's like exactly where we're set because the original Dragonstone castle had the statues, so we just went with it.
Well,
Pretty much.
Well, as of right now, that's the only thing Dragonstone has.
Up here is just
Yeah.
a level for guards for
sorry.
guarding the guest tower.
Oh, sorry, I went the wrong way. I went down.
That's okay.
Hold up. But just so we all can see.
It's just guard
Move
quarters.
those old bones.
There is it's very difficult to get around this part of the guest tower, but there is space for the guards up here. So presumably, like the household guard of whoever is like invited over could stay here.
You know, something that I have been noticing and thought about, but well, I guess like, I'll just ask that question later.
Okay.
Yeah, like we haven't seen any of the bells yet, but yeah, I just know like at the tops of like the guest tower and a lot of the other towers there are bells.
So over here, this is where the servants of the guests would be staying at, like their main staff. So this is the gray level. Color is for the nobility only. The peasants will content themselves with gray.
I mean, gray is a color.
And here's the nice pink marble.
Yep.
It's more peachy, but we don't talk about it.
There's a lot we don't talk about.
And the main entrance.
And we're back here. There is actually kitchens underneath the guest tower. We don't have to go into that.
Yeah, it's too much work. So,
we have the main Tyrell residences and the Great Hall.
Well, yeah, let's go take a look at that next. But we can always circle around because, like behind, aren't there some more buildings next to the living quarters?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, we'll loop back around after we explore the.
So this is Harlan's Hall. This was built shortly after Lord Harlan Tyrell was declared Lord of the Reach. This is one of the largest great halls in Westeros. It's as you can see, it took a lot of work, for example, to light this place up.
Yeah, that must have been rough.
There's there's some tricks that we've done with the ceiling in order to let sunlight in. There's some blocks that are fully transparent and some that are not. So if you notice very closely in some parts of the ceiling, there's like hoppers. And those are one of the few blocks that allow sunlight in.
Interesting.
And over here is the throne of Highgarden, which is mine.
Yeah, that's why.
I forget. You're traveling with Renly right now, or in universe Marjorie is, right?
I believe we have her just staying in the castle while Renly goes south.
Okay.
I mean, it's not exactly a marriage of love.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the plan B. Because wasn't the original plan to get Robert to
Marry Marjorie.
I hope not. Ew. Gross. I don't want that.
I don't remember if that's like really that supported in canon, but that's kind of like the thing that
it was said by Littlefinger, so you know.
Yeah, so it's a little suspect.
Yeah, everyone trusts Littlefinger in the books, but in the show it's just like
no one takes I mean, even
just
that one
his
scene
word.
with Elena in season 5.
Ooh,
here.
Oh, that doesn't exist.
Through here, this is the Hall of Chivalry. So this is a dedication to all the great houses of the Reach, one of many. So you have House Crane, House Rowan, House Tarley, House Virrell, House Fossaway of the Red Branch, Oakheart, Hightower, and Redwine. There's one house in particular that's not represented for political reasons, but we don't talk about that.
What is that mosaic up there?
It's of the Red Keep. It's kind of like an aspirational mosaic.
Ah. Makes sense. You know, now that I'm, since, like, I'm only seeing this now, so the doors, like, I mean, I just found this out recently, just playing around with the server, but you can, or at least on this server, not in vanilla Minecraft, you can actually stack 2 doors on top of each other, and...
Pretty much, but
Yeah.
I haven't really wanted to, I haven't asked permission to change all the doors, mostly
That's
because
fair.
I don't want to. I don't want to. That's a lot
It
of
would
work.
be a lot of work to go through this whole place.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, I spent, like, an hour before we started recording, just going through Highgarden and opening and shutting doors where necessary.
So
Like
we have
this one.
we have three options. The Garden of Courtly Love is through here. Elena's wing is through here. The family dining room is through here, and the Order of the Green Hand Tower is through here.
Oh, that's what that tower is. Let's go from left to right, since we already mentioned the Garden of Chivalry was. I'm really bad with names, so.
Courtly
This
Love.
is Courtly
Courtly
Love.
Love.
So it's separated in two. So this upper portion with white and pink flowers is meant to represent the maiden. And there's a statue of Lord Garf Tyrell, which I don't remember what he did.
Gareth. Who was that guy?
It might be one
That's
of
so
the
helpful
lords.
of me to say.
I think it might be one of the Tyrell lords after the dance, and we have nothing.
No. Gareth was the first son of Alester. Alistair? I don't like Alester. It sounds like Alistair. He was the second hereditary steward.
So this is the Warrior's Garden, and it's below the Maiden's Tower. I mean the Maiden's Garden, because the joke is that the warrior goes down on the maiden. Hence the fountain as well.
I mean, there's just like a lot of decisions where I'm I mean, I can't say much, otherwise this video is gonna get demonetized. So yeah, it's just
pushing
a lot
it,
of
aren't I?
You're expecting like a really in-depth, well thought out explanation. That's just not joke.
You could hear it in my
Just
tone.
a really raunchy joke.
So
through
this
here
is
is workspaces for the gardeners. One of them.
And I'm guessing this takes us to the throne room, or there's also
Yep,
this
the throne room.
Well, there's also this here.
This is the arboretum. This is where you could see the foliage of the godswood.
What? And
It's a painting.
what
So
is it? What
it's a
is
painter. It's painting
Oh,
me.
They should
I see it.
take up a new hobby.
He said it, not me.
Originally, I was planning on doing map art. So if you've ever been on the server,
Yeah.
you've seen the Marjorie is watching posters intended to assure the safety of the Reach, right? But everyone's just terrified just because I put them in their houses and stuff. You have one,
Yeah, I
don't
wonder
you?
why. Yes, I'm holding it. Here. Oh, nope, you can't do that.
I could place it real quick.
No, one
No,
moment.
I can
needed
always
to
just
get-
put a picture of it on
I
screen.
needed to get an item frame. Here you go. Nah,
Here
I got
you
it
are.
already.
So these are
There.
meant to inspire the people of the Reach. Don't you feel safe?
I have one question about that. If this is meant to inspire the people of the Reach, why are there lots of them at Harrenhal?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Because don't you know the whole of Westeros is going to be the Reach one day.
One day.
One day.
Isn't a lady allowed to dream? So
let's
we can
head
go back to
let's just go back through here. So the Dowager's residence.
So the Dowager Wing is right here. You could see it from here. This would be Elena's main residence. In the server canon that we made, it's done in the arbor style. So the architectural style of the arbor is kind of like not exactly nailed down, but it is emulated in her wing. So a lot of yellows, a lot of oranges, except for the upstairs, which is done more in her taste, in Elena's taste. So there's a lot of high ceilings for the heat.
If
There's
we
a
had
lot of
like birch paneling for this, that would be nice.
That
Yeah.
would be very nice.
Aren't the only
There's
two we
a-
have oak
Oak
and
and
spruce?
spruce,
Oh.
yeah.
We could request
Which is
it.
funny because it's spruce in the Reach.
Yeah, imported northern wood They can afford it.
So there's sandstone.
yeah.
To the right, this leads to the Dowager Garden. Upstairs is Elena's main sleeping quarters. So let's go upstairs. Elena's sleeping quarters are a bit more of a mood shift. It's not as welcoming.
Well, she's not very welcoming, so...
She still styles everything in her red wine colors inside of her own bedroom. And she even has her own private terrace.
Lovely.
I forget, which Targaryen prince, which son of Aegon was she supposed to marry?
The gay one.
Oh, okay, that was Daeron?
Yes.
Okay, I got that right, wow.
Yeah, it's like Targaryens after... Targaryens after the Blackfire Rebellions. Like, I always get them confused.
There's a lot of them, and they repeat the names all the time.
Yeah.
There's
So-
like 12 Daerons.
It's so wonderful that they decided to name their kids after the same 3 names. You can actually see the Godswood from this window, in fact. It's a pretty good view of the Weirwood.
Yes, it is. Where's that little balcony?
It's, I think, the
Oh wait,
stairs.
you went out that way already. Yeah, this is
like-
her private garden.
And then through here is the Dowager's Garden, which is also done in the arbor style. So it's not as orderly and neat and like trimmed and proper as like Highgarden style of gardens. This is more like we allow things to grow out. And there's a statue to Olenna's husbands here, Lord Luther Tyrell, with a fountain around it. Along with a private dining area for her and the family to eat al fresco. Her own private beehives over here. And
Fascinating.
there's also more recreation areas. Like, this is only just for Olenna. Like, men and women have different recreation areas. So, for example, if you go through here, this yellow room is like a music room for listening to like musicians play.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine like small like play productions on this little stage. Through here is more like a lounge. Like, ladies would be embroidering in here, around in a circle, like nibbling at cheese, maybe working at the loom.
Ah, yes. Olenna must have her cheese, and she must have it now.
I always wanted to know what cheese she was eating.
Yeah, probably like some nondescript cheese that's been aged for like 48 years, specifically.
Through here is where this is the men's like lounge. This would be like only for the men. And it connects to the dungeons as well, the torture area.
It's for the gentry to whip the peasants, like in Shakespeare's times.
Or put them inside of the arbalete, the hole.
You know, I'm surprised this hole doesn't lead to that cave.
Oh, I thought about it.
Well, the other one
The
does.
temptation to like shove you in there.
And right here is where behavior correction happens.
I'm guessing because okay, like my headcanon, like for this, and I know this is like totally like off the rails from Westeros and WesterosCraft canon, but do you remember in like Avatar, like Judy, like in Ba Sing Se, like I just imagine like this is where like I just imagine like this is where the Tyrells would
There is no gardener in Highgarden.
We don't do that often. Down here, it goes back to the area where it was like wine storage and things like that. So very briefly, voila, we're back in the dungeons, so we can go back upstairs.
Doesn't the harp, the room with the harp, have a staircase off to the side that takes us to the Tower of the Green Hand?
There should be, actually. Let me check. So the Tower of the Green Hand, the Order of the Green Hand was a protective order for the Reach. Well, this goes out to another lounge, I think. The Tower of the Green Hand is further upstairs, so this would be like their main meeting area. think of the Order of the Green Hand as like a proto like Kingsguard for the Reach.
Well, I thought
And-
that, wouldn't they... Well, I mean, I can understand keeping the name of the tower, but didn't the Order of the Green Hand go extinct during the Field
At
of Fire?
some point, they should have.
Yeah, the Field of
believe they were-
Ostensibly, they don't exist anymore.
There's only
Save for the
one
Mandarins.
house. Yes, they're the only house that still claims the title, which leads me to believe that it's a kind of like a gang initiation. Like someone in the gang has to like declare you part of the order in order to be in the order.
Yeah, so the last members of the Order died with King Mern IX in the Field of Fire, but their traditions are still kind of recalled and remembered, and the Manderleys still claim the title because they were never stripped of it when they were exiled from the Reach.
And they never died on the Field of Fire.
Yeah, unlike
Yes.
some people.
I have no idea what you mean.
We can fix that.
Later.
Yes. Yeah,
I have.
we'll go to that room at the end.
I'll have my semi-automatic crossbow ready.
You know, that really sounds like a something that Joffrey would order invented.
Well, I mean, good luck.
I mean, this is Joffrey we're talking about, so...
It's also the medieval times we're talking about.
Well, the thing is that there is one crossbow from China that would qualify as like almost semi-automatic. It's like, imagine this as the crossbow, right? So it's loaded like this, right? And then there's a large box at the very top of it, and I really do mean it's a very top
Oh, that
box.
one! I remember that. Or...
And if you just tilt it and it reloads.
Yeah, it reloads the arrow, not the string. That's the part that takes the longest amount of time.
Ah, lame.
So,
All right.
the dining room?
So this is the family dining room. This is like one of the more intimate areas. If you look up, there's large frescoes of the major houses of the Reach, and this is an older fresco than other regions of the castle. So you have Hightower, Redwine, Fossaway, Tyrell, Rowan, Tarley, Oakheart, and unspecified house. No one really knows which house this is. It's a mystery.
Ashford?
I don't.
I wanna
No,
say-
I mean, a fox
No.
with blue flowers. I've never heard of them. Interesting. I'll have to have that removed later.
I mean, I was about
Do
to
you
say
get it now?
So through here, we're really getting deeper into like the we're actually in the
weeds.
Tyrell, pretty much the Tyrell residence right now. This is one of the salons. So for example, if you look up, it's all marble ceilings.
Very expensive.
Through here is one of the courtyard gardens with an instruction area for like the young nobles to learn from their maester.
Or Septa?
Or Septa. Sir Osmond Tyrell, which is one of the few pre-conquest Tyrells to be depicted in statue.
He was Garth the 10th's steward.
He was the one who basically, like, after the Dornish sacked Highgarden, put it back together, like the Reach.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and his...
And-
he was the one who married Mern the Sixth's daughter?
His
Youngest
son
daughter?
was.
Oh, his son was.
And from there, that's where
Yeah.
the Tyrells draw the beginning of their blood ties to the Gardners. And I believe 9 more marriages ensued.
Does this garden have a name? Like the other one was the Garden of Courtly Love.
I believe this is the Garden of, like, highest knowledge or something like that. That's why the maester table's here.
And
There's-
oh, sorry. You were saying?
Upstairs, you could see Allery Tyrell's balcony up there.
Allery, that's the one that I couldn't remember. Eleanor Allery. That's Allery Hightower. Never mind. Jesus.
Yeah, the mother.
Yeah, who we never see
I
in the
got
show,
backwards
but
there.
she still lives in the books.
Yes. If we go through here, we're back at the family dining hall. We don't need to use the doors. This window's open, but this is a balcony that oversees Elena's garden. Where'd you go?
Yep, it does.
Did you just jump off the balcony?
Maybe.
Trying to find Garf. Where are you?
He's over here.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, like I've been on
ignore
the
me.
balcony.
I did not fly up and back into the balcony after jumping off.
No, I didn't see you.
Not
so.
at all. Not at all.
So we go.
Well, shit. Shoot.
So we're now in the Tyrell residences proper. So we have a couple options. We can go through this door and head to one of the salons, and that leads into the bedrooms of the main Tyrells. This center garden, also same thing. To the right would lead into Mace Tyrell's tower and the treasury below.
Let's save Mace's bedroom for last. So let's take a look at where the main Tyrells reside.
So through here is one of the salons. So this would be like a common area. Like you would set up things here. Like for example, like if you want to meet with a tailor, there would be a tailor selling his goods here for the nobles to like flock to and order. Or you could just have like a sewing circle. Like a lot of these rooms would be multi-purpose. Like you could use them for whatever it is you want to use.
Yeah, it's like auxiliary halls in smaller castles. There's just dozens of them.
Pretty much. Straight ahead. So straight ahead is Willis Tyrell's room. There's also a garden outside. This would be
The wheelchair. No.
This is the family Pastry garden. So like these boxed hedges holding in flowers. That's what a Pastry is. This would be like the Highgarden style of gardens, which is very like clipped and tweezered and like orderly.
And it has a nice view of the rose garden below.
To give you a good idea of like the scale of the rose gardens.
It's still really big.
I think like something like half of the second ring is all just gardens.
Yeah, it sounds about right, actually.
Give or take, if you include the Godswood, just about.
I mean, the Godswood has flower beds inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would count it as a garden.
So this is Willis Tyrell's like room. Once, like I said, we kept it ambiguous. He does have a wheelchair here on just in case, and he has a portrait to the smith above his work desk. And through here is the great library. So this is a
very
library.
Small library.
Isn't
Well, most of the books are.
Hold up. Because,
Most of the books are not kept here. Most of the books are kept in the library tower.
Oh, there's a whole tower. Okay.
So this would be like, let's say, on a whimsy, Lord Glitch wanted to learn about ant, right? And you're like, I demand books on ants, right? And the scribes all scurry off to the archives and the library tower and bring out all the books about ants. Now, you didn't specify what kind of ants, so they
just grabbed all of them.
Yeah, and they display them on these bookshelves.
They grabbed me books on the relatives and the insects.
Precisely.
And Anthony Justman as well. Like there is there is a book in Amika's library titled Ants Poetry.
The dark tomes. We don't talk about those.
This is the shaded garden. It's meant to feel like kind of like some place where you can hang out in the midst of summer where it's nice and shady.
I mean, I don't know if you two have shaders, but the shaders that I'm running on, like, yeah, this is very shaded from the sun.
My computer can't handle shaders on this server. On any other server, it would be fine, just not here.
Yeah, there's a lot of blocks here. Like, how many blocks do you have total? Like...
Thousands.
If we go through here, this is the war room. This would be where, like, in case the Reach is in war, like, they would be organizing battles here, or, like, lay out the giant
this is
map.
where Mace Tyrell eats his food.
This would be where Mace Tyrell, Renly, and, like, Loras would be, like, plotting their latest, like, harebrained scheme.
With food on the table for Mace.
Precisely.
Obviously.
Using one of Highgarden's 15 kitchens.
Yes. He gotta have his 11s?
So actually, the residences and the Mace Tyrells Tower are connected, so we can go through both. We'll start with the treasury. Downstairs is the treasury of the Reach, so the bulk of the taxes of the Reach are all collected down here. It's a very modest amount of money, it's not a lot.
Very modest.
Marge, I do have a confession I need to make. So, about, 2 updates ago, I may have taken all the gold that was in the chests of the vaults.
You stole from me?
Yeah, they're all empty.
How dare you? I'm expecting all the ad revenue that you're going to make from this in my account.
Oh yeah, these ones are empty too. I'm afraid there will be no leaving.
I'm gonna have to lose out on 0.047 of a dress.
Yeah, that's how much all that gold costs.
Well, if we're using Minecraft metrics, a block is a meter by a meter. So
yeah,
this is
so there's a bit much.
There might be too much.
I mean, well, yeah. Straight up, this is probably the amount of gold that Casterly Rock had.
Sorry. You were saying?
If and when we ever get to Casterly Rock, as an update, it will have to have more gold in Highgarden.
Oh, way more. Well, for the time period though, because they've run out of gold mines, but they can still afford everything.
That's the show. The books actually, their wealth is still intact.
Oh, the books don't mention that. Why would the show invent that?
I don't know, because it ended up not mattering in the end.
Yeah, it didn't make a single difference.
So
it was literally, wasn't it just an excuse to get Marin to Bravos?
No. I think it was for Cersei to marry Loras.
No, yet.
So right here is
no.
Elena.
That was blackmail.
So through here, right here, Elena would sit down right here and spy on the young people's education to make sure that they're not messing up her kids. So it has a direct view of the table where the maester teaches, or the septa teaches the children.
I'm surprised.
I see.
I kind of imagine Elena with a spyglass, she's looking at every single word that's being shown in books on that table.
Now let's
she's just got a mirrorish glass, mirrorish eye.
Now let's say Mace Tyrell ushers her out of the Great Hall during an important meeting that she should be attending. Let's say she wants to listen in. Well, if you go through this closet, open up that little door, push that button.
Oh.
And you could spy into the Great Hall.
Oh, honestly, I never even noticed this was here.
Neither did Mace Tyrell.
It's a good thing we don't have a Mace Tyrell on the server
That's just to stop Mace from getting embarrassed by his mother.
So this is the second floor of the residential. This is where the bedrooms are kept. This is a bathroom through here. You can shower up. A little balcony to let air in so that it doesn't get all moldy.
It's very fancy. It's better than the other bathhouse.
Through here is
the other bathhouse with all the nice walls.
So this is Garland Tyrell's quarters. Since he's the second-born son, Willis is on the first floor because of mobility issues, but Garland gets the heir's quarters only because of second-born. Willis is on the first floor, so this would be ordinarily where the heir of Highgarden would sleep. So we have his bedroom, we have his parlor, and we have a writing area where he can, do work and run his household. And then
this roof makes me sad. I'm sorry. This nonsense.
You love it, actually.
Okay.
I mean, I'd expect a little more color.
I would expect normal geometry.
Through here is Leonette Fossaway's bedroom, Garland's wife.
Oh, is she from New Barrel? I thought she was Cider Hall.
It's unclear which one. They really don't make a mention of it. But we picked New Barrel only because the Fossaways do side with Stannis, and we figured like the less powerful Fossaways.
They would split along the lines.
Well, they both
Possibly.
actually joined
They both did.
Stannis. Yeah, because Sir John Fossaway, who was of the Green Apple Fossaways, fought into Blackwater. He gets captured.
Oh yeah,
while
because that was Apple Eater.
Yes, and also John's wife was the youngest daughter of Luther and Olenna. So.
I see.
Yeah.
So if we go through here, we went through there. To the right is a Graceford ladies' quarters, which is one of Marjorie's like handmaidens.
You have the
And-
mother, like a painting of the mother over there.
Marjorie would be attended in this bathroom specifically, since noble people were basically attended to by like other nobility.
So this is not Marjorie's room though.
No, we're almost there.
Okay.
Now through
So
here.
then why wouldn't Marjorie? Wait, I'm confused. Why wouldn't Marjorie have her own bath?
So typically speaking, the way that I read and understood is that like, it wouldn't be like a private bath, right? Like you wouldn't bathe yourself as a noble. Like you literally just sit in a bathtub and people scrub you. And there would often be like dedicated spaces for you to go into somebody else's quarters and have them do it for you.
I see.
It was kind of like an invasion of privacy. So this is Marjorie's quarters.
Yeah, a little bit.
So hers are pink. They're very pink. She also has the largest quarters out of all the children.
I did see, Willis and Garland's rooms were a little smaller than this.
Yeah.
Less colorful. This is
Yeah.
Marjorie's dressing room. So she would be dressed here. She would stand on this stool and have the garment sewn in, because a lot of garments were sewn as you wore them.
Is that also why, like, according to WesterosCraft canon, she only uses 5 dresses once, like, in a day, and those dresses get burned after because, like, they just need to.
See, that's a misconception. I'm actually much more practical than that. I usually trade out a dress after at least 2.5 hours. So it's somewhere around like
That's
12
10 dresses a day.
Yeah, see, I know math.
And what happens to those dresses afterwards?
Don't worry about it. Just don't look in the fireplace.
Nah, we let Susan wear them.
So this is Marjorie's, I guess her parlor. Like she would entertain guests here. She would have her meals at the small table whenever she like would have private meals. Break her fast. Elena would sit in this chair when during like gatherings of the other ladies, just to keep an eye on Marjorie. I do know that in the server canon, as a kind of emulation, because Highgarden was built before the Tyrell's fate and Elena Tyrell's fate, so we didn't really have a time to like think about like where would like Elena's balcony be, and we have 2 spots where that balcony would be. One would be Mace Tyrell's tower, and the other one would be this one. And that this would be like where the Jaime and like Elena scene would play out.
If that happened here.
I really hope it doesn't. It was in retrospect, it was such a dumb scene.
I mean, honestly,
Oh
I
god,
like
did you notice the cavalry at the center of the army formation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
So right here is
such a
Marjorie's
weird army, and it was only like 3,000 people.
her dressing table. So basically cosmetics would be applied for her, perfume. The rooms off to the side that we didn't go through were just servants. And then through
That's
here,
a nice serving room.
through here is another noble, like a kui or kai.
I don't know how you're supposed to say that.
Cuy. Then
Yeah.
their valet's room. Upstairs, though, further up, is Allery Hightower's quarters. So to the right is her bathroom, her personal bathroom.
Of course, we
And
have
then
the
through-
Hightower sigil here.
And through here, the rooms are supposed to be done in Old Town style. So a lot of wood paneling and similar colors to like the arbor.
Yeah, it looks a little. It really just kind of looks like the arbor. I can't lie. The darker timber on the ceiling does help.
Is this?
And she has.
Sorry. Does anyone know if like this is how the interior of the high tower, whenever that gets finished, like it?
We don't know what that'll look like.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I can arc, but like I don't think we're gonna change these rooms.
I mean, these are
But,
nice though.
She has 3 rooms to herself, and then here's her bedroom quarters.
Fancy.
And she has a portrait to the mother above her, one of her desks. She doesn't really use her desk, she just has a vase of flowers and oranges on there.
Isn't she nominally in charge of the household?
I mean, the lady of the household would be in charge, like determining, not wages, but so much like ensuring that the servants have enough food, ensuring that tasks are being completed, ensuring
Yeah, she
that,
manages
like,
the household. Yeah.
Yeah, she'd be like the manager, the not the district manager, that would be Mace Tyrell, but like the manager below the district manager.
Yeah.
And this is the convalescence room.
Looks
If
abandoned.
if one of the ladies of Highgarden decide to get a little lippy and start talking about things like what if I don't want to marry that lord, they get put here to rest. Where they can experience quiet prayer and contemplation of one's choices.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Very.
the Reach is not all sunshine and rainbows, especially if you're a woman.
What about up
Yeah.
here?
Further up should be the 3rd floor, or it might lead directly up. We skipped the floor, but
yeah, we skipped the floor. We're in the attic.
but don't worry, we can go back. So the attic is more Tyrell bedrooms and quarters.
Oh,
Like,
they keep
there's-
going. Oh,
Yeah.
they keep going.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
good
storage
lord, they keep going.
Goes around the
Wait,
entire
wait.
thing.
I see.
Servant, and then another bedroom. And in fact, I like this balcony. This balcony is the best. You can see the.
Not again.
Oh my!
Don't mind me.
He's
So
fine.
you could really. Yeah, he'll live. He can walk it off.
Yeah,
think,
I'm
like,
fine.
I think on the other side, the not this, like on the opposite corner, there's another staircase that will take us down to the 3rd floor.
I really hope so. This place scares me sometimes. Like I get lost in this part a lot.
I mean, it's a lot of brown,
It is.
but yeah, like right over here. And yes, there's a door right here, and we just go through it, and we go down. Like, yeah, it takes us
thank
to
God.
the 3rd floor.
I'll get out.
Yeah,
here.
that place is a little freaky.
Oh, I
that-
think we might
Not
be in the mace. Oh.
This is the 3rd floor.
Oh, thank God. So the 3rd floor is more Tyrell residences. This is a little gossip area where you and your girlfriends can talk about like boys and stuff like that.
I'm just wondering, why isn't this on the 2nd floor? Since, well, I mean, I guess over the years, like,
Just loudly talk about gossip here, like as people are passing by, just loudly proclaim such and such showed ankle. It's a
For
dining
shame.
hall. A bit of a small private dining chamber, for people who live up here on the 3rd floor.
speaking of
there's
Tyrells who live on the 3rd floor, so we've seen Willis and Garland's and Marjorie's room. Where would Loris's room be?
Right, we can actually circle around. He's in the front, so we actually pretty close. A nursery, ordinarily, like Tyrell children would be kept here. So like, there's a dollhouse right here.
Oh, it's a nice
Solid
bed.
stone.
Only the finest,
Sturdy.
and plus they won't break it.
That's true. That's true. It might break them, but
This would be Loris's chambers. He has the smallest chambers, mostly because he doesn't have much of a use for them. He'd be outside most of the time. Yeah, he gets 2 rooms, and it's been abandoned for a while because he's been at the court of King's Landing for most of his adulthood.
shouldn't his bed be unmade then?
I mean, I think they would probably prepare it for his visit because he'd be here now.
Oh yeah, true. Good point.
Nothing to do there, but there's another balcony here overlooking the courtyard garden. Not a very good view because of the tree.
Yeah,
It's a nice tree though.
Very nice.
quite.
More Tyrell rooms. This one's supposed to have a hobby of like embroidery, so she has a lot of like clothing racks here.
Like, how
This
many
takes-
Tyrells do you think are alive at this time?
Probably a few dozen.
Hundreds.
I would have said like within 3 generational cousins, a few dozen.
Through
Like if
here,
you go back to my great grandfather.
this room right here is so when they can't teach outside, this is essentially a classroom for instruction.
So in the rare event it rains at Highgarden.
Or winter.
Oh yes, or winter. Does it
This
even
is a-
snow?
Winters are a little chilly. Yes,
This is a bedroom for twins,
it snows in Dorne.
at least in the mountains.
Yeah.
And then this is like I remember, ceremonial bathroom for like when a bride is supposed to like bathe before the wedding. This is where like they would get her ready.
And another view over the rose garden. Although this isn't really a balcony.
I mean, it still is a nice view for like. You can't really see it from here, but you can see the high tower gate though. I don't know if you're if you're using the distance horizon mod.
Yeah, I am.
But this would come in handy if like, you know, there's a bad bride and she doesn't like her choices.
Very ominous,
Ah.
but okay.
She looks out, reconsiders her options, and then, you know, does well.
We have another.
Now
This
they
would
left.
would be the family painter. So he's working on a French canvas, and the family would crowd around here on this couch, or for singular portraits would be on this chair.
Mhm.
And he would sleep in this
Oops.
room.
Bleep that out. My
Yeah,
bad.
I'll bleep it out. Like at this point, like I
That's
don't.
That's the first time I've actually cussed in this video.
And yeah, that's the full circuit of the residences. We can go back to the main tower, which at least I know where that is. But this is the
Yeah, we'll take a look since we're here. We'll take a look at the at Mace's chambers, and then we can always circle around to the Maester's tower.
so we go up here. I believe this is nope, one down. I think there's one more because there's one on the second floor. Yep.
This
No.
is. I
A little bit
Think
windy.
Yeah,
I think the one that we saw was the
first one.
yes.
Yeah, this is his tower.
Yeah, like
So this is this.
yeah.
So
Here's the
these
balcony.
arches. So these arches are the ones that I was talking about earlier that were stolen from Dorne.
Oh. I just like looking at it. I just thought, oh, these are painted yellow since the Tyrell colors are green and gold,
Nah, they'd use gold plating for that.
or gold leaf if gold leaf exists in Westeros. But yeah, that
They
actually
have
does-
cloth. They have cloth of gold. They have gold leaf.
Yeah, it sounds about right. But yeah, like that actually explains. That explains these arches.
So further up, which by the way, there's a lot of stairs in this tower. Mace Tyrell has thighs that could crush a watermelon.
More
Through
arches.
here is. This would be more like an office, right? This would be where official work. The room below us would be like recreation. So like relaxing, listening to music, like drinking. This would be more like official businesses of the Reach, like, you know, scribbling at your desk, scribe by your side, important business occurs, and then you sit down around here, around the burning glitch.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's safe fire.
Further up, we keep going up and up. Through here, this is the guard area, so this will be Mace Tyrell's personal guard.
Probably calls it the Rose Guard or something else pretentious like.
Longer, more pretentious. The wondrous and serene Rose Guard of Highgarden.
Yeah,
Something like that, yeah.
The Tyrells have like a lot of titles.
We need more.
It's like Lord Paramount of the Mander, Warden of the South, and something else.
And Warden of the South is mostly ceremonial at this point, considering that like Dorne doesn't really attack Westeros anymore.
Yeah, because they kind of realize that if they actually try to attack Westeros, they're gonna get bodied.
It was like
The rest of Westeros.
so. Then this is Mace Tyrell's personal quarters.
Ooh, big bed.
He has the biggest bed. I don't recall it being green though. I recall it being a different color, and somebody changed this. And it has the tallest ceilings, all well made, all proper to a lord, and also unoccupied, since he's currently running around with Renly and Loras. Higher up. Trust me, there's more
to this town.
There's more. Through here is Mace Tyrell's personal bathing chamber.
It's a big tub for a big man.
Yeah.
One could even
I forget,
say
was
a
it which
king-size.
king?
Hmm?
It was Aegon the Fourth that was supposed to be the analog of Henry VIII.
Yes.
Yeah, but Mace has almost got him beat, except for the wives thing.
Yeah, he kept one and was monogamous.
That's about the best he can do.
I mean, that's pretty good for medieval times.
Yeah, that's fair.
So is this where
As far as we know.
Mace's wardrobe would be, including his armor?
Mhm. He would be dressed here. I don't think armored, because that's a lot of stairs.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's true.
especially for Mace. I feel
Although-
like he could walk it down it, but walking up,
No, my headcanon is he's very fat, but like he has like extremely muscular legs.
probably because of the stairs.
So this would be like his personal valet's like chambers. Like think the guy who handles all his affairs is standing right next to him. Things like that. Like
Mace have a squire?
I don't think so, or it's not mentioned in canon.
Oh, here we go. Here's one of the bells. So, kind of just circling back to that question about the bells. So, like a lot of the towers, like the Tower of the Order of the Green Hand, the Guest Tower, the Sept of Summer, even this tower, they all have bells on top. Why is that?
Bells are a good way to tell. I mean, for their function, bells are a good way to tell the time. Good way to warn of visitors, good way to warn of incoming attacks. I know that they do chime differently
Don't mind
to
me.
allow.
Sorry,
Okay.
I was curious about something.
I know, I've done that too.
They chime
But,
differently.
I mean, depending on their size and their sound, you can tell like what's going on. So the highest bell in the bell tower would be a pretty good warning if like Highgarden was being attacked.
That's actually pretty good use of bells, because I'm used to like in the Red Keep and in the Eyrie, I know they have a dedicated bell tower. So I was just wondering, why are the bells split like there isn't like a dedicated bell tower in Highgarden.
Usually with most castles, different chimes and different patterns of chimes. Like they'll have different bells in one bell tower. Like, for example, the work I'm doing for Seaguard, the booming tower is going to have like 8 different bells in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually how they do it. Highgarden just doesn't have a bell tower, and they split it up.
Ah.
This is a big castle. If one tower gets taken, you might as well have multiple bells.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
Seaguard's a bit different because the booming tower is like the refuge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always going to be the last thing to fall. The castle was designed around the booming tower.
I think Highgarden, the last thing to fall would probably be like, it's a very, if you get past the 3 walls, which like,
It's easy to take once you get there.
I think people sometimes like overestimate the ability of like an invading army to breach 1 set of wall, let alone 3. Like I remember like being very
that's the big thing about this place is the outside is what's protecting it, not the inside. The inside's very much kind of a palacey thing.
I feel like the vassals would be like the biggest protection because like while they're basically bogged down by like all this stuff, right? Like you have time to be like, hey guys, do something.
Yeah, the Highgarden would survive a siege pretty easily.
Especially since like there's a lot of food.
Mm-hmm.
That's if Mace doesn't eat it all, but the Rookery, since we're talking about, and yeah, the Rookery and the Maester's tower, since we're talking about.
Yeah, we're heading.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys. So the Maester's tower is this tower right here. It's connected directly both to the archives and to the Great Library. So if we go to here and go through this passageway, for starters, this is the archives. So this would be like information about like accounts, sums, supplies of Highgarden, which is an important thing to take account of if you're going to be surviving through a several decade long winter. And it's also good to keep track of like harvests. Through here is the Maester's study, like to process all those accounts, and his scribes sleep up here in this dank nook. Is anyone who's ever watched this ever worked in the tech industry? This is the equivalent of those napping rooms.
Oh, I hate those things.
Oh,
They have those in my college halls. Like,
this is the Maester's living quarters. So his bed, a small table for him to sit at, the Maester's banner. I believe this is his storage for materials, clothing, various chemicals. And there's more to his quarters than just this. There is a medical ward on the ground floor next to the medicinal garden.
Oh, that's... Huh. I thought that was for it was another area for the faith. Yeah, but that actually explains a lot why that's there near the the medicinal garden.
Does he have star charts up here?
I believe he has it on the floor above.
No, it's the
Up
top
here.
floor. Like there's a telescope and everything.
I keep forgetting how.
Oh
tall
yeah,
it
this is whatever is going on in here. Another office floor. And then above... Oh yeah, y'all got a little sidetracked. Or I got a little sidetracked, I'm not sure.
I mean, we
We're
can
heading
always
up to
take a look at that garden.
This is the Ravenry.
This would be basically a study, like biological study, for example, like pretty intense, like medical work would go happen here.
It's a lot of blood.
But don't worry about that.
Oh, hello.
This would be the Ravenry.
We really need to get real ravens. Like the parrot screeches keep. Yeah.
They never mention in canon what ravens sound like. Maybe they do sound like goof parrots.
Well, I mean, Mormont's raven does keep screaming corn every couple sentences.
So these are all the cages for the different ravens, and they would be, their food would be prepared here. They would be fed, messages prepared here at this table, and then walk up here and you release them out this window.
Nice. And then the top floor.
They have a little launch ramp.
Oh, they just throw the ravens out.
No, they get a running head start first. They pitch it like it's a javelin.
We have a T-shirt just for that. This is the astronomy section, so star charts, telescopes are here. And I believe telescopes and star charts are pretty important for like the tracking of seasons and things like that in real life.
Mm-hmm. They are. That's part of how the Meisters, I don't know how to say it.
Maesters.
Maester. That's a part of how they know that's part of how they know when the seasons are changing. Is the star charts and the observations.
Yeah, because like I think I don't remember if the quote is the same in the book, but like they rely on reports from maesters from all over the realm, and then they send out the white ravens after.
Yes, that is, I believe, how it goes. So where are we headed next?
We can go to the library tower and the hospital ward.
Books,
Yes.
books.
Yeah, those two should be the last two areas, I believe.
We've been through here. This is the archives. So we can cut through the archives. It'll give us a chance to look around as well. It's pretty much just books.
And then there's
So not really dedicated knowledge books, but basically accounts and sums. And if we go through here, so this is another, if you would have followed the Postern Gate, you would have ended up here.
at
It's
the
like,
Red Wine Gate.
Yep, this would be the Red Wine Gate. Through here, through this little tunnel, is the Medicinal Garden with another Tyrell statue for Lord Mathos Tyrell, who is at the one of the great councils.
I thought Mathos Tyrell was the son of Harlan.
Let me look it up, but maybe you're right. Give me a second.
Mathos was Lord of the Great, Lord of Highgarden during the 101 AC Great
101
Council.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, Harlan's son was Theo.
Oh, Theo. Okay. Yeah. That
So
makes sense.
this is the library tower. This would be like long-term storage of books. It's 4 stories.
Books.
First floor is the chief librarian's office, where you can request books. Then second floor is a ring of books.
So this is where I go to get the books on insects.
Well, you would ask for them and they would bring it to you. And then more books for a little fireplace for cozy reading. And then one more floor and the final floor of books. At the very top is the reading space for people who assist with maintaining and organizing the books.
What is that?
Probably for the chief librarian.
I suppose. And then there's whatever's going on up here.
Storage mostly, baskets and clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, they also have to fix books somehow, so they keep their supplies up there.
That they would. Who is this? Oh, that was a guy with a Chinese name.
Cool. Through here is the hospital ward. I'm gonna wait for Garf.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm descending these
like
stairs.
little
They're just, it's just so hard to climb these 2x2 stairs.
So this would be the hospital ward. This would be for long-term healing. It is run by the Faith and administered by the Maester of Highgarden. There's just a waiting area for when you're waiting for your loved ones to stop being carved up. Long wall.
This is where you have to go for them to check your insurance.
Your claim has been denied.
Yeah. The high towers deny your claim. No money for you.
Bathing area, I guess, to keep the patients clean, and then each of the rooms is dedicated sick rooms. It's a medieval level of healthcare, but like I think A Song of Ice and Fire has more healthcare options than like our baseline medieval.
Well, we've been medieval surgery has been a thing since like before the Greeks.
But there's one thing that they have that like the maesters kind of are guessing about it, but they probably don't understand how it works. They do have an understanding that bread mold, aka penicillin, does work to stave off infection.
Yes.
And this is the entire hospital ward. This is where you presumably get denied coverage and then get so mad that you decide to take direct action on the person responsible.
And murder them.
And then run off to Central Park, where they'll never find you ever again.
Well, I think that's pretty much it, because if like down there's looks like there's the training yard, and yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that seems to be it. In fact, I think it's time for me to return home.
Yeah.
Are you ready, Garf?
Yep. Yes. Thanks, Marge, for the tour.
All right, cut this out. We should feed Crispin to Susan.
I
end the
agree.
video that way.
I agree. We need to take care of this problem.
Yeah.
Hold up. Can we just
Get him.
No. Hold up.
All right. Garth, there's one more member of House Tyrell who's here right now who you have to meet. Her name is Susan. So, come along.
I think
come along quietly.
Yeah, I'll come along quietly, but I think let's just end the main video here. So, thank you so much for watching our tour of Highgarden. Thank you so much to Marge and Glitch for joining me on this tour of this highly requested video. And before I get executed for being a gardener, next week, on the new year, we will be going to a new region. We will be exploring the deserts of Dorne. So join me when I start my progress through Dorne. So I think that's pretty much it. I am Chris the Gardener, and I will see you in the next video if I survive this. So I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.